Peace, 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 and more peace to all the collective out there watching this. Thank you so much for joining me here. I am Mark Anthony here at Elevated Talk. And once again, thank you for joining me. Peace, peace, peace to all. All right. So this is part three of this series. The inner healing tools that the collective can use, add to their inner healing tool belt, their daily life, to aid in this collective ascension. Now, I plan on doing a video as to why I mention these tools and how building this can really begin to aid in this collective ascension, but it is essentially just at the core of it talking about habits, okay? Excuse me. So the two that we're going to be talking about to end this off today is heartfelt living and soul music. And now, the heartfelt living may sound like, okay, that's a practice, but what do you mean by soul music? So I want to start with soul music, and the truth is, I was watching a 19 Keys video, and the brother he had on, Dr. Kaba, he was talking about how, like, if you sit back and think about it, like, all the movements you look out in the history, right? They all was backed by a monumental, time, and what came with that was music, right? You had Bob Marley, you had jazz coming in. Like, look at when those music started to really pop up, and look at what was happening in society around that. And so, whether it's jazz music, whether it's frequencies, whether, like, it's any music that moves your heart, that can keep you in your heart space, coupled with the practice of heartfelt living, I feel has the power to just open us up. And I put music up here as kind of like I don't want to say a joke, but like it's like lightness, right? It's like you could add it, but you couldn't add it. But it's music has been a imperative part of my journey. One of the people I love listening to was Kid Cudi and his music, and just moving towards that conscious rap, like MF Doom. Let me think of some people. We have MF Doom. Mac Miller has some conscious rap. Some of his stuff is conscious rap. Kid Cudi. Here, let me literally go to the playlist I have. But why I put this up here is because we essentially are what we eat, right? And what we eat stems beyond just our diet. And so when we can begin to fill our our soul up with music that is elevating our consciousness, but also opening our heart space at the same time, that's just a combination that leaves us in this, this pure state of absolute bliss, right? And that's why I wanted to start off with soul music, because soul music and music in general, I feel, just has that ability to bring us to those altered states of consciousness. You think about our ancestors, they use chants and musics to open up depths within their being. And I feel like if we can listen to music that's no longer centered around violence, no longer centered around music that's getting us thinking about, hurting one another, and keeping us at that surface level consciousness, got us looking at our divine queens as bitches and hoes, rather than uh, beautiful sisters, and just moving from that that surface level conscious way of seeing things, and moving to a more unified and high level conscious way of seeing things. I feel music is a fun way to incorporate that into our reality, right? Because you like, this is just coming from my personal experience. Like, I love getting up here talking about how to elevate your consciousness and stuff like that, but I may do a video where I've turned it into a song, but not every video is going to be a song. And I feel like finding music that can do what I'm doing here, but have a beat behind it, have an actual message behind it, I feel it's powerful for the collective. And when we choose to stop listening to that low vibrational stuff, and we choose to start, switching our music taste to a more conscious caliber listening, I feel it does wonders. And it may be subtle at first, but I've literally noticed, depending on the music, like my conscious brain will literally lean towards a certain vocabulary depending on the music I'm listening to. But I just want to name some of the hold up, let me see if it'll show on my screen. Yeah, okay. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. Hold up. Yeah, I'll make it bigger. Let me see. This is, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is my Apple Music playlist. It's called Blissfulness. I got some MF Doom up there. Some no hate on the name. My apologies. But the album is Beneath the Surface by GZA, GZA, Mac Miller, People Under the Stairs. They got some good stuff. Living Legends, A Tribe Called Quest, right? King Ghidorah. Got some more Mac Miller, some more GZA, some Jazz Liberators. I just found out about them the other day. But just, it's like, for me, it's just about like going back a few decades and listening to the music during revolutionary periods, listening to the music that before, the people came in and told our rap artists that we got to start rapping about this and this, because it'll then influence the people. Like, I dropped a video a while back, talking about how there was a, like, during this time, like during the 19s, where rap was really picking up. There was a meeting, and what happened in this meeting is these big industry heads came in and said, rap is becoming very influential in the community, and you need to start rapping about violence, drugs, and this, because it'll influence the community to start creating that type of environment. And now, before I state this, I want to say I've seen this on the video, and like the knowledge. If somebody wants to have a conversation about this in the chat, I wouldn't be equipped enough with the knowledge to go back and forth with you. But what I've seen in the video is that jails are private owned companies, right? So when more jails are filling up, it's like more money. And I think it's similar to schools. The more kids that go into the school, the more money that the school gets. And so seeing that rap was being so influential in the community, those industry heads, right, that may have been connected to those jails, seen an opportunity to create a mass switch in consciousness by telling these artists, we'll pay you more if you rap about this, right? And so by rapping about that and influencing the community in that violence, using those vibrations to influence the consciousness of the mass collective, sparked that, and then was able to feed all those people with put it in jail, because that's where their consciousness is centered. And so why I put soul music up here is because when we can choose to change the music that we're listening to and fill our consciousness, fill our heart with music that has a message, music that moves the soul, music that moves the heart, it allows us to, one, operate on different conscious levels, but then at the same time, it leads us in that heartfelt living, which is the next practice that I want to talk about. And why I put heartfelt living up here is because it's been one of the things that has really helped me get out of my mind. And what I mean by this is, just to tie it all together, I recently dropped a video talking about this self-defeating pattern that I noticed in myself. And what would happen is my mind would try to stick to these little minuscule things in my reality and try to blow them up bigger than what it was. And so I had to consciously start to practice not instantly beating myself up and like sinking into very dualistic and guilt victimization patterns. And for me, that came from opening myself up with a compassionate heart, having compassion towards others, not just letting other people walk over you and disrespect you, but understanding that we don't have to allow this physical to alter our internal, right? We don't have to allow this physical to dim our light. And I feel that comes from practicing with a heartfelt living. And I dropped a video talking about how living from the heart produces so much clarity. It's because when we choose to no longer operate in this very dualistic mind, and give our energy and direct our energy towards such victimization, we can begin to allow ourselves to take a breath and practice presentness with the totality of our being from the heart, and begin to shrug off what our mind may try to hold on to as this big proportional thing, and shrug it off and understand that we have a higher purpose than the victimization that our mind may try to hold on to. We have a higher purpose than the rejection that we may have received, from a sister, or from a job, or anything like that. And it's like, when we can learn to practice that compassion, practice that love with ourselves first, right? Because self-love is the like core foundation of anything that is trying to heal, right? You have to be able to really look at yourself and understand that you were taught that a physical part of your body looks a certain way. You were taught that. And so you don't need to compare yourself to what society says. Oh, this looks like this, and that means it's beautiful. Oh, this looks like this, and that means it's beautiful, right? Our physical body parts, they have a purpose outside of what society has told you it needs to look like. If you feel like your nose is too big, if it can breathe, if you can breathe, then it's serving purpose. And I feel like we need to start to exit caring about the physicality of our being so much, to the point where it's got us all wrapped up in the mind, and learn to practice loving the cards we've been dealt with, loving our curves, loving the fact that if I turn my head this way, it look like I got a dome shape, and I look like the movie off of Alien. You know what I mean? Like, just loving that, and embodying where we are, embodying what we are, right? Beyond the physical level programmings that we've been told that we are, right? And I feel like all of that at the core starts with caring enough to bring love to your life, to live from the heart, and really move from that heart space. Because it's in that heart space that allows us to no longer let the physical confine us, right? Because we understand that love transcends all, right? Like, somebody could say something nasty to us, and it's, if we choose to not respond to the physical labels that they may be trying to throw at us, but take a breath, take a conscious moment, and see from a conscious perspective. Understand that they may be in the midst of going through their battle, and so while you may be, on the other side of your mental suffering and your battle, take a moment of compassion and understand, I was there once. So I understand where they're coming from. So I don't have to respond with the same fire. I can move from love, right? I can move with respect, and just, peace, brother. I understand, right? And you just keep it moving, and you just keep it moving from love. And that's what I mean. You don't have to, when we begin to allow ourselves to practice compassion with others, with ourselves, practice self-love, practice just moving from that heart space, I feel the pressure that the mind once held on us, it begins to drop slowly. And I mentioned in another video how, like, we can have this realization, but it's the practice of it that allows us to continue to embody it, continue to live it. So that's what I'm going to talk about in my upcoming video. So stay tuned for that. But it's a practice. Heartfelt living is a practice. Listening to soul music, in a way, it's a practice. Because if all you used to is NBA Youngboy and Gunna and all this stuff, like, no hate to them, but all that shit is low vibrational, bro. Like, if you, like, just sit back and understand that there are different ways of thinking. There are different ways of thinking about women, about life, outside of what you hear in songs, outside of what they put in the mainstream media. There are different ways of thinking. So if you are so used to one door, and then another door pops up, obviously you're going to want to go to, the ones that you've been so used to. But stop and think and ask yourself, why not try something new? Why not listen to some new music that may open up my mind, that may get me thinking different? Like, why not do that and see where that may lead you? And I really feel we recently just had this full moon yesterday, and I really feel and I'm gonna leave because I was deciding whether I was gonna combine a lot, like the astrologers that I watch, if I was gonna combine like a live reaction, but I chose not to. But what I'll do is I'll leave a link to her video down below in the resource tab. If you go down below in the resources, you'll see her video. But what I really feel like this full moon was, and what it did for me, was move me away from, or rather show me that other door, right? And what I mean by this is going back to that self-defeating pattern. It's like I was living in this self-defeat so much, but I didn't even notice it was self-defeating because I was identifying it. I was in the midst of it, right? But when that other door, when that light shined on it and it started to show me what it really was, I had a choice right then and there. Was I going to continue to operate in that self-defeat just because I was so used to it? Or was I going to choose to go through the other door and see what was in the unknown? And that's what I mean. It's like practicing heartfelt living and listening to music outside of what you're used to. It's going to call you to the unknown. It's going to call you to start embodying new habits in life for you to begin to live a new life. And it's the life that you ask for that's really calling you. And so when we answer, we have to be prepared to accept the fact that we have to let go of things that no longer serve us. So that's the message, collective. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tapping into my energy. I wish you guys nothing but peace, love, light, and strength through this massive shift that we got going on. There's much more content to come through, all centered like I'm talking. Like, y'all may get tired of it, but if you see a title and it say Collective Ascension, know it's coming from Elevated Talk. All right, because that's what we're centered around here, man. Because the power that we hold within us is unimaginable. And when we choose to really start tapping in, and I mean like really start tapping in, like start at the surface level, right? Understand yourself on a metaphysical level, right? But go deeper, really start tapping in, right? What we can create, what we can do together, right? When we stop seeing so surface level and start thinking cosmically, it's unimaginable. So that's what we're gonna be diving into. More and more into the content. So just stay tuned. I'm with you guys. I'm gonna say it again and say it again every single video, because truly, stay strong out there. Peace, love, and light through the cosmic battles, through the surface level battles, through the mental battles. Stay strong. Know you're powerful. Know your strength, and just practice embodying that heartfelt living. And if and what I like to do with the music is, like, if I'm feeling a little stiff, if I'm feeling like, I can catch that energy that once used to, bring me down, that no longer exists anymore, right? What I would do is I would turn on that music, turn on that soul music, get the body moving, right? So, yeah, I'm sending you guys nothing but peace, love, and light, and I'll catch y'all. All right, peace.